stop what you're doing right now. I need to tell you something that is going to change how you see every person who ever broke your heart. That person who destroyed your peace, who lied to your face, who walked away without explanation. God didn't allow them into your life by accident. He put them there on purpose. And the reason why will shock you. The revelation. Before I tell you the real reason, let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered why some people can hurt you so deeply? Why their words cut like knives? Why their betrayal feels like death itself? Here's what most people don't know. Not everyone in your life is there to love you. Some are there to test you. And God, God is watching every single reaction. I know this sounds harsh. I know you came here hoping I'd tell you that person was just broken, that they didn't mean it, that they'll come back and apologize. But what if I told you something different? What if that pain, that betrayal, that abandonment was actually sacred? Stay with me, because what I'm about to share will either set you free or make you angry. But either way, you'll never see your past the same way again. If you're still here, if something in your spirit is already stirring, do me a favor, hit that like button right now. Not for me, but for yourself. Because this message found you for a reason, and I need you to mark this moment. Subscribe if you haven't, because we're going deep today, and you don't want to miss what's coming. The mirror principle. Here's the truth that will change everything. That person wasn't sent to love you. They were sent to show you what's inside your heart that you couldn't see by yourself. Think about it. Before they came, you thought you were patient. You thought you were forgiving. You thought you had your emotions under control. But then they showed up, and suddenly you discovered anger you didn't know you had. Jealousy you'd thought you'd overcome. Pride that you'd been hiding behind humility. They didn't create these things in you. They just turned on the lights. God uses people like mirrors. And sometimes he has to send someone who irritates you, who disappoints you, who betrays you, just to show you the parts of your heart that still need his touch. I remember talking to a woman who said, "Why did God let him cheat on me?" And I had to tell her something that made her cry. Maybe God did and let him cheat on you. Maybe God let you discover what kind of person he really was before you married him. You see, we think God's protection always feels good, but sometimes his protection feels like heartbreak. Sometimes his mercy looks like betrayal, because he'd rather hurt your feelings than destroy your future. But here's what's really going to blow your mind. That person, they weren't just testing your heart. They were preparing it for something bigger. Keep watching, because what I am about to tell you about, God's testing process, will explain why some people come into your life like storms. The divine setup here is what heaven sees that you aren't. Every person in your life is either a blessing or a lesson. And sometimes the lessons hurt more than the blessings heal. God doesn't play games with your heart, but he does play chess with your circumstances. And in his game, every move has purpose. Every person has a position. Every situation has a strategy. That person who broke your trust, they were checking if your faith depends on people or on God. That person who abandoned you, they were testing if your peace comes from their presence or from his promises. That person who lied to you, they were revealing if you love truth more than comfort. And here's the part that's going to make you uncomfortable. You needed that test, not because God wanted to hurt you, but because he wanted to heal you. Because he saw things in your heart that you couldn't see. Insecurity dressed up as confidence. Fear disguised as wisdom. Control masquerading as care. Stop right here for a second. I want you to think about the last person who really hurt you. Got them in your mind. Now ask yourself this question. What did their actions bring out of you? What emotions surfaced? What thoughts consumed you? What behaviors did you display? Because that was the test. Not what they did to you, but what you did with what they did to you. And if you failed that test the first time, don't worry. God is patient. He'll send another person, another situation, another opportunity for you to get it right. But there's something about the testing process that most people never understand. Keep watching, because I'm about to show you the 3 levels of heart testing that everyone faces. The 3 levels of testing. Level 1 is the irritation test. This is when God sends someone who just rubs you the wrong way. They're not evil. They're not trying to hurt you. They just have a way of pushing your buttons. Maybe they're always late. Maybe they interrupt you. Maybe they chew too loud. This sounds silly, but it's not. Because if you can't handle small irritations with grace, how will you handle major betrayals with forgiveness? Level 2 is the disappointment test. This is when someone you trusted lets you down. They break a promise. They don't show up. They choose someone else over you. This level tests your expectations. Are you expecting from people what only God can give you? But Level 3 is the betrayal test. This is when someone you loved, someone you trusted completely, turns their back on you. They use your secrets against you. They choose your enemy over you. They walk away when you need them most. This level isn't testing your patience or your expectations. It's testing your heart's capacity to forgive the unforgivable, to love the unlovable, to bless those who curse you. And let me tell you something that might hurt. Most people fail Level 3. Most people get stuck in bitterness, in anger, in the need for revenge. They let that betrayal turn their heart into stone. But not you. Not if you're still watching this. Not if something in your spirit is saying, there has to be more to this story. Before we go deeper, I need you to do something. If this is speaking to your soul, if you've lived through these levels of testing, type "I'm chosen" in the comments right now. Let me know you're here. Let me know you're listening. Let me know you're ready for what comes next, because what I am about to share is going to flip everything you thought you knew about that painful situation. The hidden purpose. Here's what God was really doing while you were crying, while you were confused, while you were questioning everything. He was qualifying you for your next assignment. You see, God doesn't give influence to unstable hearts. He doesn't give authority to people who crumble under pressure. He doesn't give platforms to those who can't handle rejection. That person who hurt you, they were your spiritual boot camp. Every lie they told prepared you to handle deception. Every time they abandoned you, prepared you to stand alone. Every betrayal prepared you to trust God when people fail you. You thought you were being punished, but you were being promoted. You thought you were being broken, but you were being built. You thought you were losing, but you were learning. God doesn't waste your pain. He uses it as your platform. Think about it. The people with the most powerful testimonies are those who survived the deepest betrayals. The strongest leaders are those who learn to lead themselves through their darkest moments. The most compassionate hearts are those who are broken by uncompassionate people. That person didn't come to stay in your life. They came to shape your character. They came to strengthen your spirit. They came to prepare you for people who are worth your love, situations that deserve your energy, and callings that require your complete trust in God. I know it hurts. I know you wanted them to be different. I know you prayed for them to change, for them to see you, for them to choose you. But God had a different plan. He was using their rejection to redirect you. He was using their abandonment to appoint you. He was using their betrayal to birth something beautiful in you. But here's the part that's going to change your life forever. You're not the only one being tested. That person, they were being tested too, and their test results will shock you. Keep watching the other side of the test. While God was testing your heart through their actions, He was testing their heart through their choices. And here's what most people never realize. Some people are sent into your life not to pass their test, but to fail it. Not to rise, but to reveal who they really are. That person who chose to lie instead of tell the truth. They failed the integrity test. That person who chose to abandon you instead of stand by you. They failed the loyalty test. That person who chose to hurt you instead of heal with you. They failed the love test. Their failure wasn't your fault. Their choices weren't your responsibility. Their character wasn't your creation. But here's the mystery. God knew they would fail. He knew they would choose wrong. He knew they would hurt you, and He allowed it anyway, because He needed you to see what happens when people choose flesh over spirit, temporary over eternal, self over service. You weren't just being tested, you were getting an education. an education in discernment, an education in standards, an education in the difference between who people pretend to be and who they really are. And now you can spot fake love from miles away. Now you can sense shallow commitment before it disappoints you. Now you can identify character flaws before they become character assassinations. That painful experience didn't disqualify you from love. It qualified you for better love. It didn't make you unworthy of loyalty. It made you unable to accept disloyalty. It didn't break your heart. It broke your tolerance for broken people. But the most beautiful part of this whole process is what happens next. What happens when you pass the test they failed? What happens when you choose forgiveness over revenge? Growth over bitterness, faith over fear, because that's when God shows up in a way that will leave you speechless. The divine vindication here is what happens when you pass the heart test. God does and just heal your heart. He honors it. He doesn't just restore what you lost. He replaces it with something better. That person who didn't see your worth, God sends someone who celebrates it. That person who didn't appreciate your love, God brings someone who treasures it. That person who didn't choose you, God positions you to choose yourself. But it gets better. Remember how I said some people are sent to test you? Well, now that you've passed the test, now that your heart has been proven, now that your character has been established, now you become the test for someone else. Now you become the person who chooses integrity when it costs you. Now you become the person who shows up when others walk away. Now you become the person who loves when it's hard, who forgives when it hurts, who stays faithful when others become faithless. Do you see what God did? He used their betrayal to build your character. He used their abandonment to establish your strength. He used their failure to create your success. You are not a victim of what they did. You are a victor because of what you chose to do with what they did. That person didn't break you. They built you. They didn't destroy your destiny. They directed you toward it. They didn't end your story. They edited it. They cut out the parts that didn't belong so the parts that do belong could shine brighter. And if you're still here, if you made it through this entire message, that's proof. Proof that you didn't let that experience destroy you. Proof that you chose to grow instead of shrink, to rise instead of fall, to trust instead of quit. So let me ask you one more time. Have you ever wondered why God allowed that person into your life? Now you know. It wasn't to punish you. It wasn't to break you. It was to prove you. To prove that your heart could handle betrayal and still choose love. To prove that your spirit could survive abandonment and still trust God. To prove that your character could endure testing and still pass with honor. You are not the same person you were before they came into your life. You're stronger. You're wiser. You're more compassionate. You're more confident in who you are and whose you are. If this message spoke to your heart, if it helped you see your situation differently, if it gave you hope for your future, I need you to do 3 things right now. First, smash that like button and let me know this bless you. Second, subscribe and turn on notifications, because I release messages like this that will change your life. Third, and this is the most important one, comment below and tell me, I passed the test. Let it be your declaration. Let it be your testimony. Let it be your victory cry. And remember this, the person who tested your heart and failed, they have no idea. They were just preparing you for the person who is going to treasure it and succeed. Your story isn't over. Your heart isn't broken. Your future isn't cancelled. You passed the test. Now walk in the blessing. God sees you. Heaven celebrates you. And your breakthrough is closer than you think. I'll see you in the next one. Keep your heart pure. Keep your faith strong. And keep your eyes on the one who orchestrates it all.